So we are official.
Liz and I were just talking about coming up with a song because we never quite know when when Facebook is going to pick it up live. Welcome, beautiful Liz. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I'm so excited to have you here. This is I've never done anything like this before, so I'm a little nervous too. But I'm also, it's like that in BodyMind. For those of you who are BodyMind coaches, you know this. But for those of you who aren't, we talk a lot about how fear and excitement, they can be a lot of that same energy. So anytime I feel the flutters, I'm always thinking of, this is exciting. And it is exciting. I'm really honored to be here with you today. So thank you for applying and agreeing to come on and share our session with the community today. Welcome, Liz.
Well, I appreciate it, Carly, because one of the things that you know about me, because this has been my theme, and you did mention a little bit of human design. So as a projector, it's very, very difficult for me to actually be seen, but that's actually what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
So
really.
So here I am.
Can you give everyone just a brief background? So I was introducing you earlier today on Facebook Live. Liz is a BodyMind coach. She is an associate coach in the BodyMind coaching program. She's a human design expert. Can you just share a little bit about what you love to do and who you love to coach, or anything that really comes?
Yeah.
And I'm going to just make sure my tech is all good as you're sharing.
Okay. So I guess I'll back it up a little bit, is that my journey has been a little bit different. Well, maybe not so different from a lot of people. I actually spent about 25 years in sort of the corporate world as a practicing kinesiologist. So my background is movement, exercise, prescription, rehabilitation, and it's actually my passion. I love figuring things out from a body perspective. I see people, and I see people move, and what I see is muscles, levers, tension. It's all like, I see this beautiful form and I see where there's limitations. And that's what I've been doing for the past 25 years in the corporate world. But I've also been doing a lot of that came with labor relations, human resources. So, I say to people, I've only been a coach as a BodyMind coach for, not very long. Just started this journey about a year ago, but I've actually been coaching for 25 years.
Hell yes. Amen. Definitely.
I've been doing this a long time. And over my career, I have gravitated towards the people who really, I did a lot of disability management, and it's called duty to accommodate. So when people were unable to continue in the work that they were doing, we had to adapt or find another job for them to do based on their physical restrictions. So that was what I did, and that's kind of what I still do, because the people that I work with are very similar. It's like spent a career, a lifetime doing sort of what they were doing, and really, really good at it, and really enjoyed it, and very professional, very successful. But get to a certain point in your life, and it's typically, sometimes I get people in their late 30s, but it's typically in the sort of the 40 to 50 or 50 plus, where they're kind of going, oh my God, I'm sort of towards the end of my career. It's been great, but now what? And I've got pain, and I'm scared to do things, and I limit myself because of the fear that I'm having. And I want to do all these things, but I don't know how to take that next step. So I really, it's like this, I partner with people. It's basically, and these are really special people that I attract in my coaching practice and in my movement practice, because it takes a huge amount of trust to work with somebody in trying to find your body again.
Yeah.
It's your body is quite sacred, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest thing that people find is that over a lifetime of injuries, of illnesses, of doing things, of whatever it is, we lose faith, we lose trust in our bodies. But actually, what's happening is our bodies have lost trust in us. And so it's finding that connection again. So that's what I do. I take a combination of movement and body mind coaching, and it's a blended, integrated approach. And so I've got a few other tools in my toolkit that I pull out when I need to.
Many tools.
Many tools. Overwhelming tools. So,
yeah.
But yeah. And from a human design perspective, this is something that I've been studying in depth now. I'm just working on my level 3 human design specialist training with Karen Curry Parker. And human design is, think of it like it's like the blueprint or the owner's manual to you. Yeah. And it's like, you kind of get this, yeah, it's so cool. You see this and you're looking at it and you read through it a little bit, or somebody explains it to you and you're like, oh my God, that makes total sense. It's like, so I've mentioned I'm a projector. So I have to wait for invitations for big things.
So glad you got my invitation.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me. And so if I insert myself when I'm not invited, I can actually repel people, and then I get bitter. And so when I first learned that about myself, I was just like, oh my God, that's why. Yeah. And then you feel invisible, and it's just like, well, and then, all these other things. So the human design, it honestly really does validate a lot of things about how we interact with the world, how we interact with our family, our relationships, work, everything, how we make decisions. And then we learn how to peel back all of those layers of conditioning throughout the life, which is a really, really tough process, to actually be authentically you. So that's the other piece of what I do in my coaching practice. So
thank you for sharing. And it's just been amazing to watch you embrace human design and blend it with everything else that you've been doing for 25 years, and to see you just really expand and be able to shine in that way. And we'll talk about that a little bit today. It's been really fascinating. And I know that you have already helped out so many people in our Body Mind coaching community and beyond by learning that, this is naturally a part of me. So for everybody watching, so much of what I love to do in my coaching practice is to help people find that authentic alignment in our businesses, because then it is easier to take that first step, or that next step, and the next step, and the next step, when we know that it's aligned. Liz was just sharing real quickly, I'm like, stop, because I want to record this, that she has a printout here from somewhere, it doesn't matter where. But so often when there are millions of business courses out there, right? But so often it's a blueprint, but it's not taking into account that alignment. And I would also say that sometimes finding that alignment is really helpful when you have some sort of a container, a coaching container, a group, one-on-one session, like some sort of some person that you trust, like you said, like this process of coaching. I always I like to say it's like dating. You have to make sure that you connect with the person, which is one of the reasons I wanted to do these calls, right? For the community, they get to connect with you and other coaches and me. And so much of that is about finding that alignment and then reflecting it back to that person. And seeing that little spark in your eye, or that flicker, or the I love when people do that. Ooh, that's exciting, right? That's when I know that we're onto something. So for those of you watching, right, that's a fun thing for you to pay attention to as we go through our session, is where is Liz's body language lighting up? What are the words that feel like, oh, no. Worksheet. Tech. Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna dive into all of that. And specifically, what we were talking about before we went live here is this Liz, obviously, right from your intro, you know what you're meant to do. You have your path. It is very clear who you serve. All of that is clear to you, right? So what is the thing that you would love to walk away with today from our session?
I would like to feel excited about the tech for even just one of the pieces that I'm working on. I want to feel excited, not, oh, I got to figure this goddamn tech thing out, right? I want to actually go, yay, I get to do this. I get to find this. I get to play with this and actually put it out there. But putting it out there for me, it's so hard. It's so hard because it's almost like if I put it out there, then I have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So what you'd love to walk away with is a clear next step, feeling excited about the next step, and then actually putting it out there. Like also feeling excited about putting it out there, and maybe not like, oh, I have to do that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Perfect. So give us a little bit, like a really brief, like what's happening right now. Where are you feeling the block? Where are you getting stuck?
The block right now is that, and I shared with you, I've got, an intro to human design. I want to act, and that's actually probably the simplest one for me to tackle, because I've also got a 5-week program that I want to launch, but that's going to be later in October. And I'm starting next week. I'm collaborating with another coach to actually offer another program. But the one that I want to do for myself is around an introduction to human design. And it's basically going to be free.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this like your freebie,
this is the
your
freebie.
opt-in, your lead
Yeah.
magnet? Yeah. Okay, fantastic. So you have a freebie, Intro to Human Design. Amazing. If anyone's interested, we will have this link for you soon for you to download.
Gotta make the link.
Yeah, exactly. So where is the spot that you're getting stuck with this freebie? It's already created, right?
I've got the booklet, I've got the handouts, it's all done. And I can talk about it. I don't have a problem going live, talking about it. It's the like, and I shared this with you before. It's just like, how do I do the link so that people can sign up so I can actually, move them over to the, because I got the Facebook group page already. It's there, the group, but it's like, how to create I think it's the landing page for people to click to sign up or move over into it so that they can become part of that container.
Got it. Okay. So what I'm hearing is you have the download, you have your Facebook group, and you're just missing, how do I connect those pieces? Okay, great.
Yeah.
What do you have an email software set up, like MailChimp, Aweber, ConvertKit, anything like that?
I believe, so I had done a bit of, I've got my website and went onto there to look to see what's available in there. And there is an option to do like but it's an ad based. So it's linked to like a Facebook ad or something like that.
What is your website platform?
Squarespace.
Okay.
But I think there's also, I think I have a free MailChimp, or I can use, I've got something set up in MailChimp.
Okay.
But I'm not married to it. It doesn't have to be that. So it's just whatever's going to be the easiest.
Yeah. Okay, great. So here's what I'm going to say, like Facebook ads is, this is for everybody listening. How do I say this? Total disclosure, which is one of the things that I value in my coaching practice and what I love to tell my clients is like, I will tell you exactly how I feel and where I'm at in my business too. Right now, I still don't use Facebook ads
Mhm.
because, and there's a reason for that. We'll probably use them next year. But what I've been working on this year is making sure I have a viable product and making sure my program runs really well and making sure like I can serve my clients. And so the reason that I haven't yet done it, yeah, you know what I mean. The reason I haven't used them up until now is because I've been working behind the scenes on making that all work. So what I would say is, if you already have a MailChimp set up, right, that's a free account, which is also something that for those of you who are just getting started, it can be really easy to get bogged down with like bells and whistles. And I see lots of coaches spending lots of money and then having all the things and not using them, right? So I love to guide you to, let's step back and see what you already have and start there, right? So what I hear is, if you already have a MailChimp, you can create a landing page in MailChimp, upload a PDF, right? And then that's delivered to their email, okay? And this is how I would do it, Liz, is having clients click one thing at a time is awesome, right? So on your landing page, and after we get off this live, I can direct you a little bit more in how we do that. But I want you to see the clear picture on how this is put together, right? So we have a landing page. They get an email. In that email is a link to their download. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
So we have our pretty landing page, and it's like, and you all have seen this, right? Sign up here, click here.
Yep.
That's a landing page, right? Then we get a confirmation email. And in that confirmation email is your intro to human design. Okay. Now here's where it can get really fun. I think it's fun, and I want to help you get excited about it. So in that very first email that we send, this is where, like, normally I would tell someone one link, keep people focused, one link, this is the thing that you want them to like download the guide, right? But a little behind the scenes in tech, that first email, actually the more interaction they have with that email, the better delivery in the inbox. So what I would say is, let's have a link to your PDF. And then in the PS section, hey, did you know I have a free Facebook group? Click here to come and join me, right? You can actually also put anything else that, if you want them to come follow you on Instagram, if you want them to, I think I'm going to have to show you it because that's just what I need to do for a visual. And actually, I was just working on this for the Google Drive training that I'm going to do this coming week. But as I bring that up, is that making sense to you? Do you have any questions about that?
Not yet. I'm kind of, I think once I get into it, because there was a couple of other, I think I'll start there. I just want to keep it simple, right? Because I know that there's follow-up emails that can be done as well, right?
Yeah, but we're going to keep it really simple, because this is what I see happen all the time, right? Everyone says we need a follow-up sequence. Yes, they're great, right? The what do they call it? The soap opera sequence, all of that. Like, yes. And that can keep us from actually putting the thing out there. So what I want to encourage you to do is, like, let's take the first step. You have the PDF, right? Let's create the landing page so that you can start delivering that PDF, because when you can deliver that PDF, people get introduced to human design. Oh my gosh, that's amazing, right? And then from there, right, you can build upon that in an email series.
Okay. Okay. And then build on it in the actual Facebook group that I've created for the human design.
Yeah, and to really bring this into the body, the way that I like to think about it is with any kind of email, freebies, the Heart Center Coach Club, like Facebook groups, this is all about connection. Like marketing is so much about connection. And every time we hear the word marketing, we're like, oh my God, I hate it, right? So, and this is where our coaching skills can come in, because we actually get to redefine, reframe that, right? And what I will say is, I'll click over to MailChimp in a minute here. It's just loading. And this just happened with my Inner Circle program. With the tech piece, and this comes right back to what you were saying in the beginning about your clients not being able, like their bodies aren't trusting them anymore. I see this happen so much with the tech piece. It's, I don't trust myself that I can figure this out without going into a panic and frustration. And so what happens, and you know who you are, who I'm talking about, who posted a screen share in the Inner Circle, right? I could literally see the next step. It was written out right there, but she was so frustrated and like anxious about it and mad and like, oh, I hate tech. Oh, I can't, they just show me the thing. And it said it right there. But we get blind to it, just like in other areas of our lives, right? Mm-hmm. So is there something you can do to, when you're in that tech space, to help give you a reframe? Do any ideas come to you? Like when you start to feel the energy coming back up?
Yeah, I think I know it, and I know it really well. And I think what I've been trying to do is just like actually just stepping away, stepping away from the computer, stepping away from it for a few minutes, getting outside, just kind of moving it, shifting it, and being curious about like, why is this coming? Why is this coming up? Like, why is this actually causing all of this anxiety, all this angst? And then just letting it sort of discharge, letting it sort of do whatever it wants to do, and then come back and try it again.
Yeah.
And I think it's, you know, it's like it's the same as what I coach my clients in terms of trusting your body again with movement after you've had injuries or pain. It's like, it's not gonna just solve itself after one try. This is
or
like
yelling or screaming at the computer.
Well, sometimes that's kind of fun to do, but
I was just doing it before with Lori because Facebook wasn't streaming and we were testing it out. So yes. But this is, I love that. I love that. Like walking away from it. And something that I teach my clients in my program is a tech ritual. And I'll just share that with you if it feels good. So I love to put some music on, right? I set a timer, 25 minutes, right? I'm going to sit here for 25 minutes. I put my music on, I'll light a scented candle, and I make it a ritual. I call it the tech ritual. And it's like, this is how because my background is not in tech. I'm a healer, I'm a healer, right? It's not any of that. But because my husband, who is in tech, and I thought he was good at it, and I thought he could just answer my questions, and yet he never had the patience to sit. That's not true. I never had the patience to sit with him because here's what I learned. He didn't know these systems either. He had to sit down and actually read and figure it out and click around and Google. And that was a light bulb moment for me. Here's someone whose career is in tech. He's good at it, quotes. And yet he had to go into my MailChimp and he had to read and click and try and Google. And I was like, you mean you don't know every single system right away? And it was just this moment to me of, oh, I need to have some self-compassion for myself. Like, I need to slow down. because that's the other thing I see is I'm going to build a landing page in an hour. And if we're brand new at it, it's probably going to take 2. And you can break that up into chunks. You don't have to do it all at once. But any kind of tech project, I did it this week with my Google Drive training, right? I was like, I will deliver that on Thursday. And then Thursday morning, working on my slides, doing a thing. I'm like, I can totally do this. I can make it happen. And then I dropped back down into my body. I went for a walk and said, why am I putting this pressure on myself? They don't need it Thursday. They can wait 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing released.
That's funny that you mentioned like just the deadlines and putting pressure, you know, and we're so conditioned, especially if you're working in a job or a corporate environment where you're working for someone else and you have deadlines. And that's fine. I mean, it's great to have deadlines, but when you're doing this on your own, it's like you get to choose what the deadline is. And it's funny you say that because there's some things in my life that I am like fiercely good at in terms of sticking to rituals, exercise, getting things done. You know, if I say I want to build a garden box and I got Sunday afternoon to do it, I get it done. Mm-hmm. But then there's this other stuff where it's just like, and I think I mentioned this, it's just like, I can do all these things, but I can't figure out how to make a freaking landing page. And it's just like, it's just like you start just, you know, getting so angry at yourself for not being able to do all the things. But then, as you said, it's like, okay, let's just pause. What's really going on here?
I'm curious, and I will show you the thing, but I want to do this first because I don't just want to put a Band-Aid over it. What questions can you ask yourself when you start feeling that, like, why can't I just do the thing? Mm-hmm. Does anything come up for you?
Yeah, and I think it's kind of reframing that question. I'm already doing it. How can I include or learn something new with ease? Mm-hmm. How can I make this fun? Changing the lens, like a camera. It's just like, which filter do I have on the end of my lens right now? Because it's not looking too good. Let's put on a different filter and make it all sunshiny. Like, look at it from a different perspective. Yeah.
Okay, so let's use that and walk through your steps to your landing page. So what is the question? And I see this a lot too, like the question is so big. So what is like the first question that comes to mind for you when it comes to a landing page?
Well, I think what happens is my brain jumps to the end result first, right? It's just like, I want to have this thing and I want to have it there and easy. But then trying to work backwards from that, it's jumbled. It's because I haven't done it, because I haven't learned it yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, so what is the first simplest thing that I can do to make this process fun and easy?
Okay.
And, you know, you sent me that YouTube video, and I think that's probably what I do first. It's just like, and I did start looking at it and I'm like, oh, wow, it actually really talks you through every single step to make a landing page. Mm-hmm. And I already have. So I think if I can look at it as if I already have all of the design, I already have all of the information. So how fun would it be to just like drag, drop, drag, drop? And all of a sudden it's just boom, it's there. And I'm like, whoa. Then I can just say, hey, Carly, here's my finished landing page about human design, free intro for anyone who's in, you know, and a free download.
Mm-hmm. So the question, the reframe that I heard, or the question is, what? Two things. One, oh my goodness, I actually have a lot of the components. What I'm struggling with is how to put them all together to make my end result happen. Right? So then the question, and you actually put it inside the BodyMind Associate Coach group. So I'll just, for anyone watching, right? It's like, how do I make XYZ happen? And so that is a question that you can ask yourself, not how do I make it happen, but who can I ask? Who can I ask who might know how to do this? Fantastic question. Mm-hmm. What can I Google? Right? That video that I sent you, I Googled how to make a beautiful landing page in MailChimp. Guess what? Number one video, how to make a beautiful landing page in MailChimp. Right? So Google is our friend, our like, I like to think of them like grandfather Google, right? Google knows everything.
Google, yeah.
Many things actually about us. But this process of aligning with our tech is so much about slowing down, asking different questions, looking at our components, and then saying, okay, how do I deliver my PDF through MailChimp, right? That could be another question. Or what is the first step to building a landing page in MailChimp, or whatever your email platform is?
Or even before that is, what is the thing called that I want to click so people can get something for free? Oh, exactly. It's a landing page.
Exactly.
Like I was even stuck there.
Exactly. And that is like the terminology I get. And that's when I kind of like step into my consulting role. That's like, yes, this is a landing page. This is an opt-in. This is your, what do you call it? Lead magnet, right? And even worse, there's multiple terms for the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And that's where you can kind of go down the rabbit hole a little bit and sort of get overwhelmed with a lot of stuff.
What's a squeeze page? What's a landing page? What's an opt-in? So anyone else is feeling that, who can I ask? Guess what? If you're watching this video, you're inside the Heart Center Coach Club and you can post a question in the group, right? And so who can I ask? What am I actually trying to do? Right? Like, how do I deliver my freebie to people?
Yeah.
Right. And then the second part here is like having that gentleness and that patience within yourself when it's like, I should know all this, right? Yeah. So there's another layer to this, and I want to make sure we address it because this is how you'll actually break that pattern. And it's like, what happens when, because you mentioned this before we actually started, before we went live, like what happens that you go into self-sabotage mode? Like when the tech, like things start to bubble up and you're like, like what happens next?
I walk away, I drop it, and it just sits there. So all of these ideas, all of these courses, all of these things that I want to get out there are just kind of sitting there in the background. And I go back to what's comfortable and known and sort of, and it's that cycle. It's the proving cycle, right? It's like, oh, this is why I'm not making it, because I can't do this. And I keep doing that. It's over and over and over again. It's just like, okay, I got to break this. Asking the different question, looking at it from a different lens, put a different filter on, walk away, come back. And I think it's like, I'm almost thinking like, it's almost like titration. And it sounds so crazy to me that I have to do this and break it down in such a small, tiny little step process, and again, it's just like, wow, it's just tech. Right? But it is something that I don't know how to do. But coming at it from a different perspective, in the same way that I coach, the same way we coach people to come outside of their comfort zone, tiny little action steps and then titrating into that and becoming familiar with it, building those neural pathways. It's all the stuff that we talk about. It's like,
all of it. It's
know.
so much of it. And it really is, like for all of you coaches out there, you can use all of your coaching skills to kind of like coach yourself through those feelings, or the self-sabotage that might come up, or the throwing up our hands, or the throwing
Giving
the computer or like, right? Talk about self-sabotage. It's like, oh shit, now I've just broken my tool. Luckily I don't do that anymore. Okay. So you have your questions, you have a reframe, you know that you can use your coaching skills to help with this process. And I want to make sure that you feel really solid and excited about taking that next step. So what would be most helpful for you? Do you need a visual? Do you need me to walk you through it step by step? Like what would actually?
I think the first step is just, I like what you said about putting on a timer, because I think that's one thing that it's just like, okay, I've got this time right here before my next client, and this is what I'm going to do. But when I do that, it's just like the energy, right? So I think I'm going to put a timer on and just set, like you say, 25 minutes. I'm going to start, and where I get to, I get to. It doesn't matter where I get to. I'm going to spend the time on it, and then I'm going to walk away.
I love that. And that is the tech ritual. I love it so much. Honestly, we started doing, inside my group program, we started doing co-working sessions, and we just come together on Zoom. I set a timer for 25 minutes, put some music on, and we all work. And the chat's going if anyone gets stuck, right? And then at the end of 25 minutes, we open it up. Anyone get stuck? Anyone have questions? Field some questions. Okay, timer goes again. We do another round. And what I've heard time and time again, and this is like my own personal experience, but also then bringing it to the group, is that people have been more focused. Mm-hmm. They say they're going to start with 25 minutes and they'll go for 2 hours, which is definitely my experience. I'm like, I'm just going to work on this copy for my email, right, for 25 minutes. And then I get excited and I'm like, oh man, that was 25 minutes. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do one more. And sometimes I'll go for like 3 cycles, like 90 minutes. So again, this is like, how can we bring in our coaching skills, exactly what we would use for other people when it comes to approaching our business? And I'll talk about this in the Google Drive training as well. It's slowing down, and it's building consistent habits too, right?
Yes.
And there's a little sneak peek inside the Google Drive training. You guys are actually going to get like a sample Google Drive that you can just copy and add to your drive. And inside it is a folder that I call SOPs, or standard operating procedures. So what I would suggest for you, Liz, is having a Google Doc open, or a notebook if you're still a paper person, and just saying, okay, what did I click first to build this landing page? What was step 2? What did I do next? Mm-hmm. That is literally how I learned how to do tech. And what I did was I had a whole folder of those Google documents, like how to create a menu in my website, how to upload a video to my blog, how to create a button, like the little tiny pieces. That did not come easily to me.
No, I can't imagine it did.
So I know what it feels like. And so actually taking the time to write down what you're doing and what those steps are, again, slowing down, pausing. Then the next time you have a new freebie, I can go back to that.
Yeah.
And go step by step.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. Yep.
Fantastic.
Okay. Yeah.
Can we do takeaways?
Yes.
Okay. What are you taking away from the session today?
That I'm going to just chunk it down. I'm going to use your, the timer and just set aside some time. And I think that for me, just creating that ritual of the same time every day to work on it so that it's consistent. And I think that's going to be important for me so that it's not lingering and kind of heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And just giving myself the permission to, when it's done, it'll be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to lean in a little bit.
Okay.
Because you mentioned that it's easy to fall back into that proving cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So how can it be a yes and? How can it be like, yes, I'm going to give myself permission that it'll be done when it's done? And how can I resource my questions, my community, right, to also like have a date or a realistic date, even if it's 3 weeks from now, that gives you like spaciousness and
Mm-hmm.
kind of holds you in a container of, this is my focus. I know that if I get this lead page done or this landing page done, then I can connect with people, then I can coach more people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that, I want to bring us all back to that focus too, because it's easy to, I was just talking with my assistant about this. It's easy to go take the quiz on BuzzFeed about what kind of omelet we are, right? Or it's easy to like go dive into more human design stuff. It's easy to like, it's just really easy to be distracted, or it's easy to say, actually, I want to do a launch. So I'm now going to switch gears and focus on the launch, which by the way, we'll talk about next week. Right. But it's like, it's really easy to have the focus pulled. And then we have 10 projects that are unfinished. And the one project that's actually going to help us connect with our clients is like so close to being done.
Mm-hmm. So I like that. And I think what excites me about this, and I'm just talking about the human design piece, is that I've got the Facebook group, and it's the stimulation to get it going was to be able to help other coaches or other people learn human design to be able to use it in their own practice. And so the whole idea of doing this is getting people to like other coaches, the other associate coaches, right? Have, everybody saying, oh, we want more of this, and having a container where people can come and actually share and learn from each other. And that's exciting to me. It's just like, you get to share all of this wisdom and still learn from each other at the same time. So when I think about that, I'm like, okay, I really want to get this going because I know how helpful it's going to be for not just me, but for everyone else to be able to learn more about human design and apply it both in their business and their personal lives and relationships. So that to me kind of goes, okay, yeah, I got to get this going because it's going to be really valuable.
Yeah.
So then I can say, yeah. And then I can say, okay, yeah, I can, once it's there, people are going to come in, and then we can kind of just figure out and then navigate how to make it work, and what everybody is wanting. But I'm thinking, give myself, I want to have it done by the end of the month. I sort of want this kind of wrapped up by September. It's kind of lingering for a little while. So I want to see it done, and I want to see it sort of out there to get that momentum going, because I see that there's a lot of it. I see that it's going to be good. I can see how it's going to be so valuable to people.
Okay. So that's 5 days.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have time to work on this?
Yes, I do.
Okay. How is it going to feel when you have this freebie done?
Oh my God. So much relief. Like, I did it, right? I did it. I managed to figure it out. I did it.
How is it going to feel when somebody is interested in human design and you can say, Actually, I have a free guide. It's all about an intro to human design. Can I send that to you?
Oh my God. So good. I'll feel like, wow, I'm actually doing this. I'm for real. I'm not just hiding anymore. I've actually got this going. I'm developing. I'm getting there finally, right? It's like, not just talking about it. This is actually like, it's there, tangible, right?
Yeah. What is it
Very
about
exciting.
what is it about the freebie that is making it feel that way? Like, I'm really doing this.
The As a projector again, it's that sense of being recognized, of being seen as somebody who knows this, and the work that I've put into it, and the hours that I've spent studying it, and now being able to share this information, and that people reach out to me to actually want more. That feels like it's very satisfying. It's just like, makes my heart smile.
Mm. Okay. So in the next 5 days, as you're working on this, and if the energy starts to feel heavy, feel frustrating, how can you remind yourself of basically the end game, the
Mm-hmm.
end goal here?
Coming back to that sense of how I'm going to feel when this is done, and just feeling into that excitement, that knowledge that people are coming to me to want this information, to want to learn more, and then I can give them more. That feeling of being able to give. That's that heart, that smiling heart.
I love that. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a little bit of a recap. We talked about a lot, right?
Yes.
We talked about basically the end goal of why you're creating this freebie, because it's so connected to you, to your heart. We talked about reframing and asking different questions, like the why questions of like, why can't I figure this out? That is a bad question. Right? I'm not one to like judge good or bad, but that is just a shitty question.
Shitty
Right?
question.
Right. So what I heard you say is, if that energy comes up, you're going to take a break. You're going to walk away, knowing that you can come back to it. I also heard chunking it down into smaller pieces, trying a timer, maybe put in some music on. There's a Spotify channel I love. I'll drop it in the comments. It's called Chill Study Beats. It's like my favorite. And it's like no vocals, just like groove and music. It's super fun. You have the resource, and that's your starting point, right? Is to watch that video, to go through it step by step by step, right? And then after you have that done, then we can talk about like email sequences and what comes after it. But really, you just need the darn freebie, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Right? For you specifically, Liz. For everyone else watching, you may not need the freebie yet. Like, there's other ways. So I don't want you to all think that you have to have a freebie now and that's the only way. I asked Liz this question about why this is so important, and she's very clear on, because you're a projector, this is the way that you feel like you're going to be able to be invited in to a conversation with other people. So I want to make that really clear. You do not need a freebie to be a coach. No, absolutely. So this has been so fun. Any other takeaways you want to share before we wrap up?
Oh, you're magic.
Thank you.
You're
This is
awesome.
so fun. This is for me as much as it is for you, because I just love coaching.
I know, I love it. It's such a great idea. And it's just like, as I was thinking about this morning, I'm like, it's brilliant, right? It's just like, I would love to be able to do this. So it's like, there's another thing on my, list of things that I'd like to get out there, but one thing at a time, right? But yeah,
literally
no,
one thing at a time. That's another big theme that I'm taking away from this call is how easy it is to be like pulled from the thing. And I think oftentimes we self-sabotage by all of these different ways. From the thing that we know in our heart is the clear focus right now. and we can convince ourselves that we need to go update our Instagram profile and
or your acuity scheduling.
let me check those intake questions and make sure they're right. Make sure they're still in alignment. Like all of these are little sneaky ways to pull us away from our attention. And literally, I am a human too. I'm letting you all know I have been going through this week with my Google Drive training. So it's same shit, right? I'm like, okay, total disclosure, I had to organize my whole Google Drive, which is how I spent Wednesday, instead of working on my slides. So it happens to all of us. And just like everything else, and why I love coaching so much is it's that awareness of, like I told my husband, I know I'm doing this. This is not what I'm supposed to be working on. I'm doing it anyway, but only till 11 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
And then I went out and I went for a run and I got into my body, and then I came back and I was able to focus. So such is the way. Yeah. Liz, thank you so much for being here. This has been so fun. And I need to come join your Facebook group because I'm still a newbie at human design. So I'd love to know so much more about that. Okay. And let's see that freebie.
Okay.
First. Okay. Can you share it with me?
Absolutely.
Okay. Fantastic. Let me just peek over at the Facebook group here. We have a bunch of comments. I can't see them all. Yeah, Liz, can you, after we wrap up today, Liz will come in and she'll drop her Facebook group. Absolutely. That would be fantastic.
Oh yeah, sure.
There are some people asking.
There's nobody in it yet because nobody knows me.
Oh my goodness.
I know it.
This is so fun. Okay, great. So we'll get some people in the Facebook group for you. That's
excellent. Awesome. I'm so excited.
Okay, great. So you're excited about the piece, right?
I am.
That was the takeaway. So yay.
I am excited about it. Yay.
Fantastic. All right, thanks, everyone. I'm going to stop streaming. Liz, just hang on 1 second. So I can say goodbye to you. Thank you, everyone, for watching. On Wednesday of next week at 10 a.m. Eastern, Rebecca is going to come in. Rebecca is a speech language pathologist. So she has a very different, and we're going to talk all about launching because she's in the middle of preparing for a launch right now. So it's for those of you who may not be a BodyMind coach, right? And you may have a different perspective. We're going to show that to you next week. So I'm really excited to have Rebecca here. Cool. All right, everyone, we're going to say goodbye and we'll come back and pop in the comments in a little while. Bye now.